Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of the Diligent Wholesaler Facebook Live events. We have a very special show for you today, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us. First and foremost, about us, we are the Diligent Wholesalers. We have a very specific mission to change the wholesaling and real estate investment industry entirely. What do I mean by that? We want to show you complete transparency in our numbers, in our analysis, how we get the deals. We want to show you everything so you can make a decision to invest with us based upon truth, honesty, facts, transparency of analysis. Basically, so we do all of the legwork for you, and we want to grow a partnership together. We do that by these Facebook Live events. We do that by, email any one of us, give us a call. We show this transparency by giving you our calculators, the same ones that we use to analyze deals. Again, all through transparency to bring honesty and trust back into the business. That's our personal mission. With that, I will, let me take a step back. To find out more about us, check out our Facebook page. If you're on this Facebook Live, you have found it before. Otherwise, it's facebook.com/thediligenthwholesaler. Sign up for our newsletter on our website at thediligenthwholesaler.com. We'll start sending you these deals that we have already pre-vetted for you. We'll send them right to your inbox. You can take a look at them. Start adding some profitable investments to your portfolio. We have a very special show today. We have some special guests that are joining us. I will kick it over to Evan, who is a member of the Diligent Wholesaler. He is the Diligent Wholesaler, and we will take it from there.
Hey guys, Evan here. In case you missed us last week at the Diligent Wholesalers Facebook page, we did a live event, episode 5, where we covered exactly how we do a CMA, a comparative market analysis on a property. And we really compared it to how an appraiser would go about evaluating the price of a property. And after that event, we actually released our cheat sheet on how to do the different adjustments so that you can line by line divvy up, exactly, hey, how much does it cost to add an extra bedroom? How much value does this add to the property? But as John said, this week we're going to be covering something different. In episode 6, we're going to be going over how to do a deal fix and flip with no money down. And without further ado, here's Wendell to kick things off.
All right, guys. So this is a very exciting episode, as always. So I will be talking about how to do a fix and flip with zero cash out. And as Evan said, we have a very special guest. 2 people actually that they will be the ones who will provide you a big chunk of that cash. So anyway, before I jump into that, let me talk about this. So the ones in green are the components of a fix and flip, right? So if you're an absolute newbie, you don't know anything about this, and you watch this fix and flip, this fix and flip shows on TV, first of all, don't get too excited. Number 1. Number 2, don't believe everything that you saw on TV, but believe everything that I will tell you today, okay? So there are 5 things you need to factor in when doing a fix and flip. You need to have some cash, all right? And we will talk more about that today. If you don't have $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 cash in your bank account, you probably need to have good credit in order for you to get a hard money loan, right? And then, very important, is you have to have a good deal. That's what I call the collateral, right? So that's the property that you're going to renovate. It has to be a good deal. A property worth $200,000 that you'll buy for $160,000, that needs $10,000 or $20,000 in repairs is not a good deal. Okay, so, and I've seen it on these fix and flip shows on TV. They're like, hey, this is a good deal because I have like $20,000, savings, but no, it's not a good deal. And work with Evan in order for you to find what a good deal looks like. Okay, so Evan is your guy that can provide you that good deal. And then you have to have experience. Now, obviously, and that's why I call capability, right? So, so to remember this, you have 5 C's. You have cash, credit, collateral, capability. That's the experience that you need to have. And that experience, if you don't have the experience in rehabbing houses, then you need to partner with someone who has the experience. At minimum, hard money lenders will look for a general contractor that you work with that has the experience. Okay, so because if you're going out there and you're going to rehab a house that needs $100,000 rehab, right? And it's your first deal, most likely, you don't know what you're doing. You don't have a good GC. You don't have good contractors. You don't know how to manage a project before. Then you're going to fail, right? That's why hard money lenders will typically require that you have, if you don't have the experience, that you partner with one or you have a GC that is very, very experienced. And then lastly, you have to have the capacity to do it, So most of you listening to this are, brand new investors. You're a newbie investor, and most likely, you have a full-time job in addition to doing real estate investing on the side. Well, do you have the capacity to do this? Are you willing to work after office hours and during the weekends in order to oversee your rehab project? And even though today we will talk about how to go into fix and flip with zero cash, right? The fact of the matter is your credit will still be on the line even if your own cash is not, and therefore you have to watch your project like a hawk, right? You have to watch all the expenses. You have to watch the timeline, the schedule, because if you're over schedule, over your schedule, then automatically you are losing money. If you're over budget, then obviously you're losing money, right? So you have to have the time to be able to watch it like a hawk. You have to be there every week, several times a week if you can. You have to talk to the GC, and you have to watch the expenses very closely. So capacity is very, very important. So all 5 C's: cash, credit, collateral, capability, and capacity. You have to have them before you jump in a fix and flip. And as I said, from a credit standpoint, by the way, you need to have a credit score of 660 and above in order for you to qualify for a hard money loan. Now, let's talk about cash because that's what we're going to do. That's what interests you guys. How do I do this with no cash out? First, let's talk about the cash that you need in order to do a fix and flip. For a $200,000 project, that means that's the addition of your, the sum total of your purchase price and your rehab. You typically need about $60,000 in cash. Now, if you're a newbie and you're broke, you don't have any cash in your bank account, well, today is your special treat because, as I said, the 2 special guests that we have will teach you where to get the cash. So for now, let me just explain why you need $60,000 for a $200,000 project. Well, if you're using a hard money lender, right, you need to have 20% down payment. 20% down payment, a typical hard money lender will fund 100% of the rehab cost and up to 80% of the purchase price. So if you're buying the house for $150,000 that needs 50 grand in repairs, right? That's a $200,000 project. So you need 20% of the 150. That's $30,000. Then you have to pay 3 to 4 points. 1 point is 1% of the loan. So if they gave you a loan of, let's say, 100, so that's 120,000 for the purchase plus 50,000 for the rehab. So they gave you a loan for 170, right? So you multiply that by 3 to 4%. So if you multiply that by 4%, that will be about $5,800 or almost $6,000. And yes, I can calculate numbers in my head. Okay, so and if you've been in this business long enough, you can or you will be able to. Now you also have to pay the holding cost. What are those? You have to pay the taxes for that property, the property taxes, insurance, utilities, right? Why utilities? Well, I mean, in order for you to do a rehab, right, you have to have electricity in the house. You have to have water in the house, right? And then you have to have heat in the house, especially in Chicago during winter, right? You don't want your contractors to be freezing to death, right? So you have to pay utilities, and if it's in a neighborhood or if it's a condominium, then you have to pay a homeowners association fee. And then most importantly, you will be paying interest payments, right? So holding cost is one of those expenses that most newbies don't even think about. But holding costs can easily eat up your profits. In fact, if you're not careful, your holding cost will wipe out all your profit and could end you up in a negative profit situation, meaning in the red, right? So you have to watch your holding cost. So for example, for a $170,000 loan, the holding cost, let's say you get a 12% loan, that's $1,700 per month. So if you have to hold this house for let's say 12 months, that's a lot of money, right? So how much is that? 12,000, 12 times 7, how much is that, Evan? 14, 8,400 plus 12,000. So you're talking about $20,000, right? So you have roughly $30,000 as your down payment plus $20,000 plus or more in your holding cost plus another $6,000. So voila, you have your $60,000 that you have to put up for a $200,000 project. See, so if you don't have $60,000, now what do you do? Well, as I said, you're in for a real treat because that's where our special guests come in. So, where do you get the cash? Okay, in order to get the cash, well, there are two things, right? If you have great credit and you can wait, this is the whole topic of the conversation, and we will talk about these steps. So you have to, if you have a 720 credit score, then step 1, you put up an LLC or a corporation, right? Step 2, you apply for a business line of credit. Step 3, you deposit that business line of credit, you encash it, you put that in your bank account of your LLC for 60 days to season it. Once it's seasoned for 60 days, then you use that cash as down payment for the hard money loan. And that's how you're able to get the $60,000, in order to do the deal with that $60,000 coming out of someone else's pocket, not your pocket, right? So, can I call on Francisco and Jose, and they'll explain more about the business line of credit. So,
Yep, so first of all, I want to thank Wendell for inviting us here for the event. And just like Wendell was mentioning, it's important to obviously have access to capital. And this is the reason that we here from National Corporate Credit and also with the Diligent Wholesaler, we're here to provide information about how we can get that done. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea of who we are, my name is Jose Baeza, and I know that some of you guys are listening through my page, so I really do appreciate it. And this is Francisco, my business partner. So what we've done is that we build a business where we specialize in raising money for not just real estate investors, but any type of business. About over 70% of our clientele are always real estate investors for this particular reason. You always need money. You always need access to capital. And having access to money, in this particular case, like Wendell was mentioning, you would need business lines of credit. Obviously, there's so many different ways to fund your business and your deal, but the business lines of credit is a very, very effective way of doing so. As I mentioned before on a couple of webinars or even YouTube videos that you guys might have seen from me, is that the business lines of credit, the way that we specialize is we do roughly about $50 million worth of business lines of credit every single year. And a good handful is for business owners, for real estate investors, should I say. The way it works is that if you have a 700 credit score, if you have a 700 plus credit score, we can actually help you raise up to $250,000 in that particular corporation, okay? And what happens is that the benefits of doing a business line of credit is that you separate your personal from your business, which is obviously one of the biggest things that we need as business owners, separate the personal from the business. More importantly is being able to get the benefits that come along with a business credit line, okay? One of the biggest benefits is that with us over at National Corporate Credit and the Diligent Wholesaler is that we can get you capital up to $250,000 with 0% interest.
Well, just like Wendell was saying, whenever you're buying properties, the holding costs and just buying materials, paying contractors, all those bills can add up really quickly, especially when you're trying to, do the deal in 3 to 4 month period. You can never not have enough access to capital. So the business lines of credit just gives you additional capital on top of, if you're either putting your own money down or if you're using hard money lenders, it gives you extra capital, which makes you a little bit more flexible so you could pay different people out. And like Jose was mentioning, you do get 0% interest for the first 6 or 13 months. So that's a big advantage because, if you're going to flip a property in that period, you're essentially paying 0% interest, and you're not paying any interest before that.
Right. Now keep in mind that a lot of when it comes to real estate, you make the money up front and the way that you purchase your deals, so you want to start off with very low cost. 0% for the first 6 to 13 months guaranteed is obviously an amazing way for you to start your business. Again, one of the other benefits, in addition to the 0%, is that it will not report to your personal credit. So many of you guys that are listening up and you're looking to start your business, or if you have a business already and you need more money, this is another way for you to do so. Example, if let's say that you go out and you get a loan from the bank, right? You get a mortgage or a personal loan and you're going to invest it in your property, keep in mind that that's going to show up on your credit. And there's only a certain number of loans that you can take out before the banks basically cut you out.
You're over leveraged at that point.
And what happens is that with this, we can give you $250,000 in credit lines, and nobody will ever find out other than yourself and the business that it's located on. But again, it will not show on your personal credit.
And here's another solution also. Some of you might say, well, you know what, I may not have the 720 credit score. One of the advantages of our program is that if one of your business partners or someone else who does have strong personal credit, as long as you guys have an entity set up, that person can be the one who can apply for the business lines of credit. And again, it's only going to report to their business credit and not their personal credit.
Right. So what you need in order to qualify is very simple. Again, this is for startups. This is for any type of business. As long as you have an entity, whether it's an LLC, C Corp, S Corp, it doesn't matter. You could literally have a job or be working at a job right now and start a business tomorrow, let's say, and you're literally getting the corporations. And again, this would not affect you on how much money we can raise for you. What we look for are a couple of things. We look at your credit score, has to be over 700 credit. We look at your debt to credit ratio. You have to have at least less than 30% debt to credit ratio. And then also we look at the history, no bankruptcies of course, and no open bankruptcies should I say, and also how long you had certain credit history in your credit report. So if you fit into that criteria, again, that's as easy as we could. We're not looking at collateral. It's not collateralized. We're not looking at how long your business has been open. And also, our application is a stated application. So what that means is that we don't look at your financials or your business plan. There's no limitation to what you can use the money for. And
so there's no income verification.
There's no income verification.
And you can use the money even to buy a Tesla. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
As long as it's for business purposes.
Right, for business purposes.
Or even like Jose was saying, say you want to get involved in real estate and you don't know where to start, reaching out to the Diligent Wholesaler would be a good fit for you because they would assess where you are in life and then maybe you could help them on one of their projects by buying the material with your strong personal credit. There's different ways to partner up with them, to close deals and to get experience, which that's really what you're after, is learning how to do the deals.
Yes, and if you're not sure on where to get started, feel free to go to the sign up form. If you go to facebook.com/thediligentwholesaler, you'll be able to see a button that says sign up. If you click on that particular button, it takes you to a page where you can either apply if you're ready, or you can also contact them and myself in case you have any questions. For those of you that are through my page, you can also reach out to me via Messenger. And also, many of you have been asking me about how do I get started in real estate. Well, the Diligent Wholesaler is one of the greatest ways to do so because, again, these guys, we've known them for several years, and we partner up and we've done a lot of deals together. So personally, on my end, we would not partner up with someone that we know that wouldn't have any integrity. These guys are one of the best out there. And again, if you're in the Chicagoland area, there's going to be a lot of events that we're going to be hosting and that we'll be doing. We'll obviously be putting that on our pages as well. But if you guys are interested in learning at least on how to get started with business credit lines, definitely reach out. Or if you're ready, all that we need in order to get started and get you a pre-approval amount is a copy of your credit report. Okay? So if you have a copy of your credit report, then I can have my underwriters give you an estimate about how much money can we raise for you. and it won't require any paperwork per se. All we need is just a copy of the credit report, and what we recommend, or what we suggest, is that you get it from creditchecktotal.com, and I'm going to repeat that again. It's creditchecktotal.com. Reason we want it from that site is because that particular site is one of the most accurate out there. So if you get it from that site, it's going to be a lot easier for us, rather than if you were to get it from like freecreditreport.com or Credit Karma, where all that information is not being reported. And like say if we get you pre-approved for $100,000 in Credit Karma, but your real score is a lot less, then again it's more of a disappointment for you and also the service.
Credit Check Total is just very, very accurate because it's owned by Experian, one of the major credit bureaus. So it provides all three credit bureaus for a very inexpensive cost.
Right. Yeah, so again, guys, if you guys are interested in learning more about how to get credit lines, again, contact me or reach out to the page at The Diligent Wholesaler, and I'll also have that in, I'm sure we have that on our links. And yeah, do you guys...
Yeah, and I don't know, how much money did you guys raise for the people I referred to? Do you have like an idea? Like
We
at
did,
least
I think,
probably like over
over a million. Yeah, we did
over
like
a
$1.2 million of Windows, people in Windows Network. In the last year, we did that like in 8 months or something like that.
Right.
And then those people took that, $1 million, and then they invested with Wendell on different deals that you guys were
Yeah,
doing.
like
So-
this whole thing of how to do a flip with zero cash out. This is true story. I have these 3 brothers. 2 of them are twins.
Oh,
Remember that? Remember
Absolutely.
them? And then they got like how much money? Like 120,000.
yeah, 120,000.
Yeah. So when I called them like a few months ago.
They're triplets.
Yeah. But no, they're not triplets. They're
Oh,
twins.
the twins. Oh, okay.
Plus another
Plus
guy,
another-
you know,
okay,
and
yeah, triplets.
so they're 3 brothers.
Yep.
They haven't done a flip before, and then they did their fix and flip, and I heard that they already pre-sold it.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so they made money without them shelling out any of their own cash, which is
Right.
so cool.
Yeah, and like
You
you
know.
were saying, there's all these different methods of raising capital. Sometimes people in real estate only hear about hard money loans, and that's all they focus on. But when
Yeah.
you get creative and you find different ways to raise money, it just allows you to be more flexible and allows you to do more deals, which is at the end of the day, what you want to what your goal should be
Absolutely.
in real estate. So
All right. So thanks, guys. So
Thank
these
you.
guys
Appreciate
are for real. So in fact, on November 11th, Friday, during the launch of the big thing, they will be there at around 11:30.
Right.
At the Downers Grove Library. It will also be broadcasted online.
absolutely.
And also through Facebook Live. We'll just do like this triple thing: live in the Downers Grove Library, Facebook Live, and then lastly, through go to meeting, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can use it as a way to pick our brains or pick Wendell's brains, but
Yeah.
that's really the best way. You want to surround yourself with people who are actually doing these deals and pick their brain on how to really buy real estate and sell it
Yeah,
or hold on to it. Or
And if
whatever
you guys are serious, they can pre-qualify you right there in the spot.
absolutely.
Right? So you will know if you can qualify for 40,000, 80,000, or in this case of like 120,000, or even 250,000.
Yeah, and that way once you find out when you qualify, then you come to Wendell and you say, hey, look, I qualify for this much. How can I work with you on a deal, and how can we do some deals together?
Yep.
So-
Great. All right. So thanks guys again.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
now I'm going to talk about if you don't have great credit, let's say you have less than 700 credit score, right? Or you cannot wait 60 days to do a fix and flip. Like you have a flip right now, right? But you don't have any money. Well, the solution to that is gap funding, right? And the thing is, that's part of the big thing that we're launching. We can provide you gap funding if you're part of the big thing, okay? And next Wednesday in our Facebook Live event, we will talk about what the heck is this big thing, right? And on the Friday of next week, we will launch the big thing on November 11th at 11 a.m. So 11, right? So that you guys can remember that. So go to facebook.com/diligent wholesaler, next Wednesday, so that you can see for yourself what the heck is this big thing and why you should become part of it. And on that Friday of that week, we will be launching it, and you guys, we will create history together. And with this big thing, the reason why we're calling it big thing, this will change the way you do real estate you do real estate, period, right? Because the bottom line is this will help you buy more deals even in today's very competitive and very hot market, right? So because you will need the funding, which we will provide, you will need the deals which we will provide, and you will need the training which we will provide. And that is, kind of like a preview of what this big thing will be about. All right, so with that, thanks guys. And we will see you again next Wednesday during our Facebook Live event, where again we will talk about the big thing.